Yep, yep.
Who is ready to wave?
Words are a way that we as humans are able to communicate with others. And when used in a positive way, it can have an encouraging impact on those that surround us. Saying a simple, kind word to someone can, make their day sometimes. Saying a simple thank you can show gratitude towards others. Saying I love you to a loved one lets them know that we recognize them and we appreciate them. But just like how they can have a positive impact, they can also, when used in a wrongful manner, they can have a negative and they can be negative and hurtful towards others. And this is a lesson I learned a few years back with one of my friends. So he was a really good friend. He was always encouraging. I always wanted to know how my day was going, how I was doing at school. He would give me advice when I would come to him with my problems. And yeah, he was just a really good friend. Until one day when I was in a really bad mood from several different factors that had just accumulated. And so I started bickering with him over a small little issue. So it's normal for friends to bicker, that's just part of life. But the bickering on my part ended up turning into an argument that just escalated. He started arguing back, and I ended up snapping and saying some awful things to him. And as soon as I said them, I regretted them, but by then the damage had already been done, and I lost a good friend because of that. So I would still see him around, but he would always brush me off, always give me the cold shoulder, and as much as I apologized for him, it was always in the back of his mind what I had said. And eventually, a few months later, he did forgive me, but it just wasn't the same as how it used to be. There was no easiness between us anymore. He wasn't telling me about his life anymore. He wouldn't give me any more advice. And it was because, I had caused that rift between us. So there was always a coldness between us. He wasn't friendly. And that was because of my fault, because of the things I had said to him. So the lesson Joel Olsen once said, be careful what you say. You can say something in 10 seconds, but 10 years later, the wounds are still there. And that's true. Even though that happened years ago, it's still the same. There's still, we could never go back to that easiness that had been back before. And the lesson I learned was that words matter. They can either have, a good impact on others, and used in wrongful, they can be negative and hurtful. And once they're said, they can't be taken back. They can be forgiven, but they can't be forgotten.